Hi everyone, this week we get to do a DEXA scan. Full body composition check, so we know the baseline, so we can check monthly to see how I'm going on my journey to 10% body fat before I'm 50. We also get to do lots more training this week and the fatigue really sets in. I'm also getting 3 hours on the bike on a Saturday, which will give me a good chance to test out the new bike fit. Make sure you check out that video when it drops. I started this journey at 145 kilos with a goal to complete an Ironman and change my life. 12 months of work later, I crossed the finish line in Cairns 2024, 30 kilos lighter and super happy. But the journey's only half done. We've got another 20 kilos to lose. I'm aiming to get down to 10% body fat and find that elusive six-pack. On top of that, I'm aiming for a high course finish in the Keltman in Scotland, just to keep things interesting. I hope you enjoy my journey each week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified of each new episode when it drops. Let's kick things off with the DEXA scan because that's something I'd never done before. I've done body composition on the machines where you hold the handles and stand on it, but this is the first time I've done a full body scan like this. Now these machines, if you don't know, are designed to test your bone density. That was the original idea behind them. But they also do body composition in terms of lean mass versus fat, etc. So that's the purpose that we're using it for. So originally my body fat mass on the old type of equipment where you hold the handles was at 34%. That was the one I had done just before I went to Cairns for the Ironman in June this year. Now you'll see that my body fat percentage is currently at 31.6 based on the DEXA scan. So around where I thought I would be, around the 30% mark. So there's no surprise there. The amount of fat is, let's call it 35 kilos. That is about what I figured as well. So again, no real surprise, but it's nice to have it be accurate. The lean muscle figures are 75 kilos. So that's an interesting number in itself because what that means is that if I kept all of that lean mass, so I don't lose any muscle mass, I hope actually to put on a couple of kilos of muscle mass with the extra gym sessions in strength. And so what that will mean is that, let's say I get to 77, 78 kilos of lean mass before I strip away all of the fat. What that actually means then is that the whole BMI scale, which you'll see here, which has me at obese, will just simply not work because on the BMI scale, if I'm 77 kilos, let's say I'm get down to 77 kilos, I would have to have 0% body fat. Otherwise it would still classify me as overweight. So if you're using the BMI scale, just throw it away. It means nothing. This chart, this way of looking at your body composition using a DEXA scan or even the handheld machines like I've used in the past is a much better way to gauge where you're actually at on this path because the BMI is based on 60-year-old data and it's just not accurate. So throw that away. If you're trying to make this change to your life, don't use that as your scale to measure where you're at. Rant over. So now the other thing you see in here is the pictures, like the actual scan data without the maths done on it. And you can see that it's a little bit hard to see the lean versus the fat, but I'm hoping that in 6 months' time when, dropped 20 kilos, that these pictures side by side will be really revealing. That's my hope anyway. We'll see. I'm not sure whether that'll work out that way or not, but we'll see.
The other thing that was interesting that came out of this is it does your resting metabolic rate calculation. So mine came out at 2172 calories per day, which is probably about right since I'm sitting at 2800 at the moment, but that's been added to because of the amount of exercise that I'm doing. So we're going to have a look at that number with Tom next week to make sure that that 2800 that I'm using as my baseline now is correct, or whether we need to bring that down a little bit. That will be one of the key things that we are checking as we move towards the 10% body fat figure, is making sure that that resting metabolic rate calculated with my exercise is all correct. And we may even move to a different type of way to manage that. And I'll explain that in a future video. So the overall outcome is that, and I will say here that the scales at the X-ray place where I had this done are a couple of kilos heavier than my scales at home. So, but that's all right. Percentage is the important part here. So at 31.6% body fat, and let's assume that I keep my lean mass the same. That means when you do the maths, 20% body fat gets me down to around 95 kilos, and 10% body fat will be around 85 kilos. That's assuming my lean mass doesn't change. So, and that's what we'll be aiming for. That's what I've been able to do in the past, is keep my lean mass the same and just bring the fat down. So that's exactly what we'll be aiming for moving forward. And that's why each month I will get this DEXA scan done again, so that we can make sure that, you know, I'm not moving the wrong things and I'm moving all the right things. So I hope that's helpful for anybody. If you want to get it done, it's obviously not painful or difficult, and it's super accurate. So now when I go back to the same place, they'll do a side-by-side comparison on my next chart that they give me, which I will share with you. Good run today. Felt a bit up and down in energy during the run, but all good. Getting back into things. Big week ahead. Monday's gym session started with the box squat, which was really good. Felt strong through that. Into a trap bar deadlift, which was 90 kilos times 2 times 10, so there were 10 sets and as many as possible on the last set, and I had 10 minutes to complete that, so focusing on speed and execution, which was good fun. Then into dumbbell split squats, which I find really hard. That was really lightweight, and I don't know, it's just one of those exercises that I find difficult to execute well, and one of the reasons why I'm at the gym, to build up that kind of stability and strength through those kind of motions. Monday afternoon led into a different kind of session for me. So there were 4x400 meter sprints, and whilst, you know, it doesn't sound all that hard, it was a kilometer warm up, kilometer cool down. But it's been a long time since I've done 400 meter sprints. And as you'll see from the video, it doesn't really look so much like sprinting as running a little bit faster than I normally do. So I got a little bit of work to do on my sprinting side of things, but I'm looking forward to getting faster in that. I mean, the idea behind it is to increase my overall speed when running. So putting this kind of workout in there just to lift that speed whilst being able to maintain it over a long period of time, obviously. Then we hit the gym again on Tuesday for an upper body session. So not so much about building size, just building strength through all of my upper body, which I think is really important to me. And of course, if I'm going to get down to 10% body fat, I don't want it to be sloppiness. I want it to look good. And so the plan is to just do not too heavy a weight, not long sets, just a real straightforward kind of upper body workout, I guess. And I will put all the details of these into a video.
So Wednesday's workout was the Hairpin Wizard on Zwift, and that was a good workout. Starting to work on some hill work in the bike area, and that's pretty exciting, although in a strange kind of way. Thursday was all about just a low intensity run, 45 minutes. Felt really good, even though the legs were feeling it by this point of the week. Friday was 4x500 meter efforts in the pool, which was pretty tough, but I'm pretty, the body got through it. And of course the week finished off with my 3-hour ride this morning, which I was pretty happy with. The body felt good on the bike after the fitting, and I think probably legs were feeling remarkably strong. And I finished it off with some hill work on Castle Hill. Not a lot, just a couple hundred meters climbing after my 3 hours on the bike, and it all felt pretty good. So I'm looking forward to working on the hills, getting some of that, what do they call it? Some of that power into my legs so I can just climb all day. Because I really haven't done any of that on the bike up until this point, and I really need to, because I've got a couple of events coming up, not Bustleton obviously, but after that are going to require me to be able to climb, and I really need to make sure that I can handle that. Thanks for watching this week. For those who have been hanging out for it, here is the new graph that includes my measurements, as well as I've reset everything to the new targets, new weeks, that sort of stuff. So obviously it doesn't mean a lot right now. I'm sitting at about 112 kilos, as you saw from the DEXA scan, and really just going to track everything. I'm back into the diet properly now. I've really got everything wired down, so should be able to get back on track to half a kilo to a kilo a week moving forward if I'm getting everything right. So looking forward to keeping you up to date on that. I'll do the DEXA scan and the chart once a month, just because otherwise it doesn't look like much has changed, so we'll just keep it pretty simple. And in the meantime, there's lots of other stuff to talk about as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the DEXA scan information. It's really worth doing. I'm excited to get back full into the training now, and excited to see what comes next. I hope you enjoyed this, and don't forget to take the next right.